Hey y'all, welcome back to A Dinosaur in the Library. I'm Dawn, and I'm here with my Dewey's 24-hour readathon wrap-up. So, just in case you completely missed this whole event, the Dewey's 24-hour readathon is an event twice a year where you literally take 24 hours of time and do nothing but read, as much or as little as you can or want to. So, some people had to work, things like that. I had a pretty rough start to my Saturday, so I did not get to start at the designated time, which was 8 a.m. for my time zone. I didn't get to start till about 11:45, almost 12 o'clock. For one reason is I had to be somewhere from about 9:30 to 10. It was supposed to be longer, but I ended up being done really quickly. But the other reason is I got up early so I could get ready and have breakfast before I had to go to this thing, and we discovered our hamster Nora was dying. If you've been around for a while, you know that we have a guinea pig named Pig, who you never really see because his cage is back there behind where I film, but or on the other side of the room from where I film. But if you've been here a while, you probably have seen Nora. She made a lot of noise running on her wheel, and I was constantly in the very beginning apologizing for the noise that she made. But she was a pretty old hamster. They usually live for about 2 years, and she was somewhere around 3.5. We're assuming, we're not really sure how old exactly she was, but we think she was about 3.5 years old. And she was the friendliest hamster we ever had. She was the only one we ever had who let us handle her and pick her up and pet her and cuddle her as much as we did. And she will be very greatly missed. But that is part of why I did not get to start till late, because that was very upsetting. And then I had to leave the house, and then I had to come back, and we had to go have her funeral at my mom's. We had to go bury her at my mom's house because we really don't have any place to bury her here. We don't have a yard. So we went and buried her next to my mom's rabbit over at her house. And so she has been laid to rest in my mom's yard underneath a very pretty bush. So there's that. But that was my Saturday morning. So I got started on Readathon pretty late. But I did get a lot of reading done. I don't have the number exactly in front of me, but I read 11 and a quarter books for a total of about 1,800 and some odd pages. 9 of those were graphic novels, 2 were short nonfiction books, and the quarter book was part of a young adult book. So I'm just going to talk very briefly about the books that I read and about the readathon in general. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first book that I read, I had already started like the night before, but it was Reading with the Stars, A Celebration of Books and Libraries by Leonard Kniffel, and this is an ALA edition. And I've seen it in the publishing catalog that they send out once or twice a year. And I checked this one out of my university library because it is very expensive. I want to say it's about 40. It was probably about $30 or $40. Most of their books are. But essentially, this is just a collection of short sections, famous people talking about libraries and books and what they mean to them and how they're important, things like this. You've got people like Barack Obama, Laura Bush, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and my battery light is coming on. My battery notification. But it's just a bunch of people talking about how books and libraries are important to them. I wasn't as impressed with this as I wanted to be, but some of the things that they had to say were pretty awesome because, books. So, and the other nonfiction book I read was The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a Fuck by Sarah Knight from the County Library. And it's a parody of Marie Kondo's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And it's actually a pretty useful little thing. It's all about how you clear things out of your life that you're giving too much energy to that aren't worth it, to make room for the things that you want to give your energy or your fucks to. So, yeah, there was that one. And then I read a huge pile of graphic novels. So the first one is Private Eye by Brian K. Vaughan, Marcos Martin, and Muntza Vincente. And as you can see, this is a monster. I think this thing's around 300 pages, and it's pretty heavy, and it's kind of awkward to try to read. But it's based on a world, I'll just read you the back here. Years after the digital cloud bursts and exposes all of our most confidential hopes and fears, the Private Eye is set in the inevitable future where everyone has a secret identity. Following an unlicensed PI as he's thrust into the most important case of his life, this sci-fi mystery explores the nature of privacy with frightening prescience. So, this is our main character here. He's an illegal private investigator. This is a jacket. This isn't his actual face. And as you can sort of see, he's African-American here. Which is kind of cool. But as you can see, also on the cover, everybody has these masks. Everybody has a secret identity because when the cloud burst and everybody's secrets got exposed, everything kind of fell apart. So there's no internet, none of that. The media is kind of like the cops. They do all the investigating. And it's a pretty interesting read. It's kind of awkward to read the way it's set up, but it's in the, they call it widescreen. And it's interesting because it's set in a world where there's no internet, but it was first released on the internet, and then they put it out in this super special edition kind of hardcover thing. It's a pretty pricey little book. I was given this, so I did not have to pay for it. This is from Image, and it costs like $49.99. So if you want to read this, I would really suggest getting it from your library. If I hadn't been given this, I probably would have done the same, because $50 is a lot. But it's probably worth a look, but just keep that in mind. The next one I got is a graphic biography of Einstein by Corinne Mayer and Anne Simon. And I'll just show you the art here. It's pretty interesting art. Most of the pages are set up like this, where you've got 9 or 12 little boxes. But then you also have some pretty interesting designs like this, where you just kind of follow it down the page. And it's a biography of Einstein. It's pretty much him telling his story for most part. He is talking, and you go all the way from his childhood, all the way through his marriages, his relationships, his family, all the way to the end of his life and his work. So yeah. The next book I read was Paper Girls, Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan. And this is set in the late 80s, which I love the 80s. And this set of 4 paper delivery girls stumbles on this really messed up secret that's happening. So I won't give anything away, but it's... It says, in the early hours after Halloween of 1988, 4 12-year-old newspaper delivery girls uncover the most important story of all time. So that gives you some idea of what this might be. I'm kind of interested to see where Volume 2 goes. I'll say that. The next I have are 2 volumes of Miss Marvel. This is Volume 3, Crushed, and Volume 4, Last Days. These are both ILLs, which is why you can't see the cover very well, because I can't take these off. This is just the continuing adventures of Kamala Khan in Jersey City, as she has taken on the role of a superhero. She's a Muslim teenager, which is amazing. So if you're looking for diversity in your comics, Miss Marvel is there for you. The next one I have is Lumberjanes, Volume 3, If I Don't Throw It Across the Room. This is also a library book. It's from my county library. This is, again, just the continuing adventures of all these fabulous characters. There's LGBTQ content, and it is super fun. I love the raccoon. The next one I read is Super Cheeseball, and I love it. It's Dinosaurs Attack by Gary Girani, and this is based on a set of trading cards from the late 80s, early 90s called Dinosaurs Attack. And it's just like a B-movie kind of thing where dinosaurs are destroying the earth for a very specific reason. But it's really fun. And if you like this sort of, if you like B-movies and that sort of thing, you will absolutely love this. You've got these great scenes like this. I love the artwork. So I was very excited to get the trade paperback of this, because there were only 5 or 6 issues. So, which was kind of sad for me. I wish they'd have had more, but I did love the story. So, and my favorite read of the day, Rat Queens Volume 3, Demons. I cannot express to you how much I'm in love with this series. I am such a fangirl for all of these characters, particularly Betty, actually. She's kind of my favorite, and I absolutely love them. If you have not read Rat Queens, I will say up front, this is intended for an adult audience, but that's fine. It just depends on the person. Older teenagers might also enjoy this as well, but there is a lot of sexual content, that kind of thing. So if that's a problem, just keep that in mind. But it's an amazing story. I love this so much. If you have not started reading this, as I said, this is Volume 3, so and this one just came out a couple of weeks ago. So there are only 15 issues right now with one special issue, and so you've got time to catch up before the next one comes out. which is not going to be soon enough for me. And I was very excited to find out that this one includes the special issue Braga, because Braga is a transgender character, so kudos. There are also other LGBT relationships in this book, or in this series, in this universe, so, and they're done really well. So if you're looking for diversity, you need to go no further. You've got ethnic and racial diversity, you've also got LGBTQ, so this is great. And the final book that I was reading was Stars Above, a Lunar Chronicles collection by Marissa Meyer. And I only got about a quarter of the way through this during the readathon. I ended up going to sleep. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute, but I only got through about a quarter of the book. Obviously, I've been reading today. I got through a lot more of it. I'm almost done with it now. I've had this since it came out, and I really, really am glad I'm finally getting to it. You know, I've gone on about the Lunar Chronicles before. There are all of the amazing covers on the back there. And if you have not picked up the Lunar Chronicles and you love fantasy or fairy tale retellings, I would really suggest going out and getting this. The first one is Cinder. Some people talk about skipping over Fairest, which is technically a middle book. It's fourth. It came out fourth in publication order. I would really not suggest reading the series without reading Fairest, because I think it adds a lot. And honestly, I think that's my favorite of the books. So Cinder, Scarlet, Crest, Fairest, and Winter, if you did not know by now. And then Stars Above was the short story collection that was brought out earlier this year, that are all set in this universe. Some of these are stories that were released online previously, and some of them are not. So even if you've read all the ones that she released before, there are some in here that you will not have read. But that's all I did for the readathon. That was a pretty good stack, considering the way my day started. I was pretty proud of the stack I did get through. I wanted to stay up until 8 a.m. and do the whole 24 hours. That was the plan. I wanted to stay up. I wanted to finish Stars Above and read at least 3 or 4 more comics, because I had a whole bunch. These are all graphic novels that I need to read right here. So I thought I could at least get through a few more of those, but it just wasn't happening. Long about 3 o'clock, my eyes just said nope. My brain started shutting down, and I had to go to sleep. So, but not too bad. Not too bad of a thing. And this was my first readathon, so I have really nothing to compare it to. But I really did have a great time, and I even won one of the giveaways. So if you've never taken part, they do random drawings every hour of the readathon, and there's this long list of prizes on the website. And what you do is, if you get pulled for an hour, you go and you fill out a form with your address and all that, and you put your top 3 choices of present or of gift or whatever, a prize from the list on there, and you get one of those. I won in hour 3, but I did not realize I had won until about hour 7. So I probably could have gotten one of the things that I was really coveting if I had noticed it when I first won. But I still had a lot of really cool things to choose from, and I am not looking a gift horse in the mouth. It is free bookish goodies, and that's all anyone could ever ask, right? So I had a whole lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to try to take part in the October readathon. They do it in April and October, and they've already announced the date. I want to say it's October the 22nd, maybe. But it is on the Facebook group, which was a whole lot of fun. I stayed on the Facebook group talking to people off and on for most of the night, and I talked to a lot of really cool people, and it was fun. So yeah, I would really suggest, if you are able, to definitely take part next time. It took me forever to be able to take part. I've known about it for a couple of years and have not been able to do it, just because of work, school, whatever. But I'm really glad that I got to do it this time, because I did have a whole lot of fun. Just talking to people, doing some of the mini challenges, reading the blog post, reading the Facebook post, looking at what different people are reading, talking about really great books that people are reading. That's always a lot of fun. I mean, this is why we do BookTube, right? So we can talk about books. And this is just a whole day of back and forth, and people talking about, oh, I had to take a break, or I'm making lunch, or I'm having a snack, and now I'm getting in, book 5. I had to take a nap, and, that sort of thing. So it was a lot of fun. So I would really suggest you checking it out. So I'm going to stop rambling now, because I feel like I have devolved into just running off at the mouth, and it's almost 15 minutes in. So think I've covered everything. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week. I've got a lot of stuff going on this week, which I'll talk about in a future video. And if you took part in the readathon, let me know down below how you did. You know, did you get through a lot of the books that you wanted to get through, or did you end up falling asleep super early, or falling asleep like I did and kind of crashing your actual goal? But any reading is good reading, so even if you did not reach your complete goal for the readathon, you still read, and that's the important part, right? And we're doing this all for fun, so never forget that. So I hope everybody's had a great week, and I hope that I will see you in the next video. Bye.